Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. I did a reading last week, and I wanted to share a little bit about this reading. I did, when the reading was done, ask the person if I could just mention a little bit about this reading, of course, without mentioning his name. But it's happened to me several times, and I thought I would share it with you. I did a reading on this gentleman, and I brought in a lot of information from his father. And he accepted all of the information. He said it was all accurate. He mentioned the name of the high school that he graduated from. He mentioned an achievement that this man had accomplished when he was younger, when he was in his teenage years. He mentioned a time when he almost drowned. He mentioned the fact that his wife almost passed having their second baby because she had complications. The umbilical cord was wrapped around the baby's neck, and they almost, it was almost a disaster, but luckily everything turned out to be fine. The baby was fine, his wife was fine, but it was a very difficult time. And the father from Spirit mentioned how he was with him through that difficult time, and he was with him when he went to the chapel to pray for his wife and to pray for the unborn baby. And he just accepted all the information, and it brought him to tears, and he was so happy. And when the reading was almost done, he said, "I want to tell you something, Gloria." And I said, "What is it?" He said, "I was adopted, and I never knew my biological father." So he knew his father's name. He knew the biological father's first name, and that's the name that came through. But he said, how can that be when I never met the man? How would he know all this? And, and I explained to him, and as I do with every reading, when I get a person that comes for a reading, especially if it's a first timer, I always educate them about how I work, how the world of spirit blends with this world, and how we communicate, how we form our own language. So I always educate people, but it just blew his mind to accept the fact that this father, biological father that he had never met, knew all this information about him and was able to, bring this information through me. So again, I explained to him, how it all works, and he was, again, he was brought to tears, and I told him, what a strong love connection I felt from this man to him, towards him, and it was very comforting for him. He always questioned why, they chose not to raise him. It was a situation where they were in high school, and they both had, a full life in front of them, his father and his mother, and they didn't want to get married, and they put the baby up for adoption. And but I did know he did know the father's first name and the mother's first name, but knew nothing else. Didn't even know the area that he was adopted from, but knew their first names. And it was just really amazing to him that his father has been with him all throughout his life, was with him at those difficult times and in the joyful times. And it really brought him a lot of comfort and peace to have a better understanding that his father, truly did love him, always loved him. It's a very difficult thing to have to give a child away and put it up for adoption. It's a very difficult thing to do. And very often, to me, it's the greatest love there is, to give a part of you that you love so very much, with the understanding that this baby, this child, will have a much better life with someone else rather than you. So for me, I believe it's a very unselfish act and a very strong act of love. So I explained all this to this man, and like I say, it was a very tearful reunion for him, and he was so profoundly affected and grateful that his father, to know that his father was with him all throughout his life, and to understand and embrace the fact that his father did love him very much and was with him. So I just wanted to share that with you, because it's happened to me at least a dozen times through the years where I brought information in or brought someone through, and and it was an adoption situation, or where a parent passed when they were very young and they never really knew that parent, and the parent came through with such strong information of love, peace, and comfort. So it's really, I always say Spirit never ceases to amaze me how they work. But if there's a love or blood connection, and there's the proof right there, as Janet Nohavik, my friend, who's an outstanding medium, she has the Journey Within Spiritualist Church, and she runs a mediumship school out of Pompton Lakes, New Jersey. She always says the proof is in the pudding. So with evidential mediumship, that's what it is. The proof is in the pudding. And he certainly, this man certainly had his proof that night, that his father was with him, always had been with him, and is still with him, and loves him very much from the other side. Never really met him, never had the opportunity to to really meet him in the physical sense, but certainly now there's a connection soul to soul, and I was very happy and honored to be a part of that. Okay, so I just wanted to share that with all of you, and as always, I leave you in God's love and light.